Saludos, se llama Jesús, su presidente de la plataforma Todo sobre Lucha Libre, y yo entre nosotros tenemos una entrevista en inglés con Roxanne, o mejor conocida como Broken Roxy o Broken Doll. Hello, Roxanne, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Hello, everybody. How are y'all?
Very happy to have you with us. Okay, who is Roxanne, and why are you in this world of wrestling?
Well, when I was growing up, my whole family was a big wrestling family. And it's kind of funny. I'm the only wrestler that came out of my whole family who's wrestling fans. And they used to watch the WWE. Well, this time it was the WWF before they switched over. My mom still watched it today. My brother still watches it today. And I was like, growing up, I was, idolizing these people. And I was like, man, that looks like that would be a lot of fun to do. So the opportunity came and I went for it.
How many have been your time on wrestling? How many years, how many months so far?
I am at 26 years of wrestling. I started when I was 17 years old training. I had my first set of matches right as I turned 18, which was right about the same time that my daughter was born.
Okay, who were your teachers?
Well, I have had Jimmy Janetti, who now resides in Florida. He taught me. There was another guy named Christian. He was an instructor. I actually trained at BWC, Boogie's Wrestling Camp, here in the U.S. in Charlottesville, Virginia. And now, after all these years, I am a trainer now myself, training the new generation coming in. And speaking of which, we got a couple Puerto Rican guys that are actually training with us.
Okay, so let me explain this. Okay, mi gente, ella es transgénero. Transgénero significa tú naces hombre, te sientes mujer, o naces mujer y te sientes hombre. She is a transgender wrestler. That means that you were born man, but you feel like a woman, or you are born a female and you feel like a male. Now, there's a lot of controversy on sports because sometimes, like for example, women say that it's unfair to have somebody that was born a male and then fight like a female. Do you have that kind of a problem in wrestling?
So far, I've been very lucky. Very rarely do I run into situations like that. Most locker rooms that I go into, I have a lot of respect in those locker rooms. A lot of people actually look up to me as a trailblazer for the upcoming trans people. I am the first transgender on the East Coast.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been transitioning for over 20 plus years.
Okay.
And it was wrestling that helped me to discover who I was. So I've got mad respect for wrestling. It is my passion. I will bleed, sweat, tears, whatever is needed for this business to make it better and to make it better than what it was when I got into it.
There are a lot of transgender wrestlers like Paola. You before we started this conversation, you told me you knew Paola. That's correct?
Paula. Yes, I do know Paula. The whip mistress.
Yeah, she's the one with the whip. She's from Puerto Rico. Actually, she's from Humacao, Puerto Rico. Maybe next weekend we are gonna have it here with an interview. And I feel very happy because here in Puerto Rico we have two transgender. That is Lara Dominatrix and the Diva Milena. They are very successful. And you was telling me before we started this interview that you wish to come to Puerto Rico one day. That's correct?
Yes, it is on my bucket list. I want to come so bad. I really do. I almost had the opportunity to come once, but COVID hit and things just fell apart. So hopefully that opportunity will come again. And so I would be able to do it. I really, really want to come to Puerto Rico. I just love going to different places with cultures.
You told me that you have two nicknames, Broken Doll and Broken Rosie. Why is that?
Yes. Okay, the Broken Doll is a really dark character. I'm more of like, I like to hurt people type stuff in the ring, and it's like a really scary character. The broken Roxy is more like the total asshole. You know, I'm better than you. Ain't nothing you can do can touch
Mm.
me. I'm the one that makes all the money. You know, that kind of stuff. So the two personas come in play for when I need to. And I started out doing a cheerleading gimmick 20 some years ago.
So maybe you start with Broken Rosie and then you turn into Broken Dolly?
I was a broken doll first.
Okay,
Yes, I've
okay.
been doing
So
the broken doll character now for about 3 years, and the broken Roxy character probably was like the last year and a half.
so maybe we can compare you with Nikki Cross right now, that she's a little bit like twisted minded or something like that.
Kind of. I
I
think
wish
I'm
I
a
wish I
little
could.
more charismatic, but yeah, not bad.
Okay. Do you have in YouTube? Do you have any video with that character with that gimmick so I can see it
Yeah,
mesh up?
it's on my YouTube channel. It's Broken Roxy, aka Foxy Roxy. It's on YouTube. A lot of times I post my videos and stuff on my the website, which is Roxanne Marie Mathena is one of them, and Broken Roxy, aka Foxy Roxy. They're both Facebook. You can look me up there at any time. I don't just do wrestling. I do like reviews on drinks and food and different stuff like that I've done. So I try to keep a variety of stuff to keep my peoples entertained.
How many titles have you won so far?
Oh man. Oh, you'll put me on the spot with that one, ain't you?
More or less, more or less.
Uh, I I couldn't even tell you exactly how many titles I've had. I've held quite a few titles, and I've actually made history in some of the promotions as being the first transgender wrestler to hold these titles. I've been a
Okay.
Universal Television Champion. I have been a Universal Tag Team Champion. I have been one promotion that I've actually got a show with this weekend. I was their very first ACW Asylum Carnage Wrestling heavyweight title champion. Um, being the first trans and the first ever crowned. So
Oh,
um,
oh my
I have
God.
held the AIWF Mid Atlantic Tag Team Championships. I have held cruiserweight championships. Just the list just goes on and on and on and on and on. We'd be here all day naming all my titles.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay, are you an independent wrestler or do you belong to any wrestling company right now?
Uh, right now, I am just an indie wrestler. I have done stuff with bigger promotions. Uh, back in about 2012, I had actually had a tryout for TNA when they were doing the gut check stuff years and years ago. I didn't make it as a wrestler, but I did make it on as part of the ring crew and production company. So I worked with them. I got to know a lot of people in the business because of that, and I learned a lot from being in that area. And once TNA switched over to Impact Wrestling, I became a truck driver for them. So I was hauling the rings and all that stuff to the house shows. Once they let most of the ring crew stuff go, another company, which is kind of funny, Era Lucha, uh, actually hired us on as people to work their shows. And I met a lot of the wrestlers from some of them from Puerto Rico and some of them from Mexico. And
Okay.
then that went on for like maybe a year or so. Then they end up folding up. They weren't making enough money. I don't know how because they were selling out the crowds left and right. And then I think a year or so, maybe 2 years go by. Then AEW gets in touch with me right about the same time Nyla Rose was signed on. And Nyla
Okay.
Rose used to be a tag team partner of mine before she got signed. Paula knows her too. Um, then I end up first time I ever did a show with AEW is they flew me down to Las Vegas for their Double or Nothing very first pay-per-view, and I did a couple things with them after that. Right now, I'm just working in the Indies right now, mostly Tennessee, North Carolina, and sometimes here in Virginia.
Okay, so far, have you, with so many years of career that you have so far, have you ever think about retirement?
It comes across my mind quite often. Actually, I'd made a post about because it's about time for me to retire, but I ain't quite sure what the date was, but that date it is coming. It is coming. Um, I've it really depends on when I get done with the bookings that I've got, how I feel. If I think I can go on for another couple months, I will. But yeah, retirement's coming. I've
Have
been
you ever
doing this a
tried,
very long time, so
have you ever tried hardcore matches?
I have actually. There is a match on actually Asylum Carnage Wrestling. We do a lot of hardcore type stuff. Um, there is a match on my YouTube channel, which y'all can go check out,
Okay.
of where I've actually done a show with deathmatch people, um, and I was in a hardcore show with that against a girl named Sarah Cox, I believe her name was.
Okay. So do you see yourself in Japan doing this kind of matches?
I would love to go to Japan too. There's so many places I'd like to go. I really would. Puerto Rico.
Mexico?
I'd even go to Mexico. I'd even go to Japan, Australia, just different places just to be able to do the art that I love to do, and that's called professional wrestling.
So don't think about retirement because you have so many places to go: Japan, Puerto Rico, Mexico. You don't
It crosses
retire
my
yet.
mind. Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to do it, but will it happen? I hope so, but I guess we'll find out in the future.
Well, you're training with Puerto Ricans wrestler. Maybe you can talk to them to maybe have some opportunity to come one day here to Puerto Rico.
I would love that. Any promoters out there looking for a good talent, right here I am.
But who can we expect? Broken Rosie or Broken Doll?
Depends on who the promoter is and what kind of mood he puts me in.
Really good answer. Really good answer. Do you see yourself in a very big wrestling company? Because already you mentioned TNA, AAW. What about WWE? Would you like to be there, or you don't think about WWE?
I would do WWE if they called me up and discussed some stuff with me. I'd go work for WWE. I'd work for AAA. You know, I don't care. I just like working. I like wrestling. That's just what I do.
How do children receive your character, your gimmick? How do children receive it?
How should they receive my character? Very dark and very temperamental. Don't
Do
piss
you think
off the Roxy.
they like that gimmick?
I've had a lot of people come up to me. Like, actually, I had a show just last weekend down in Tennessee, and word got back to me that I scared the crap out of some of those people, and they loved it. So I would assume people love to be scared. So
What do you think 2023 have for you so far?
what's 2023 got for me? Hopefully better than 2022. I like to get before I do actually hang up the boots, I'd like to get as much traveling in as I can. I'd like to see that happen in 2023. Maybe even hit the lottery. But we don't know.
You never
I ain't had
know.
much luck with that one yet.
The sky is the limit, and you know that the
Yes,
most
it is.
perfect
Yes, it
thing
is.
is never have an ego. You have always to be humble because people who is humble always conquer a lot of things.
Yeah, we even as an instructor at BWC Boogie's Wrestling Camp in Charlesville, we beat that into their heads. We beat them into their heads. We're like, be humble, be respectful, pay your dues, train hard, be a sponge, absorb everything related to wrestling because that will always make you go farther and become a better person.
Okay, I'm gonna make you a question. Do you know any more transgender wrestler? Because I wish to interview them because I think that today there are a lot of people like you. Like I say, here in Puerto Rico, we have two of them. We have Paola, we have you, and I know that outside there must be a couple of ones. Do you know a couple of transgenders who I can interview too?
I know a few. I'd have to reach out to them. You know, I just
Okay.
can't throw names out there right now,
No,
but
no,
I can
no,
like get
no.
in touch with him and tell him that I did an interview with you and you were very respectful about it and he is interested in maybe interviewing you and I can shoot him a message or something for
Like I
you.
told you, I never ask anything confidential or anything private. I only ask thing about wrestling because I don't care about the private life or something like that. You know, I don't
Yeah.
like that kind of interview. Sometimes you find people that say, "Hey, are you married? Do you have kids? Do you marry a man? Do you marry a guy?" You know, I don't like that. I only talk about wrestling and that's it. So if people want to reach you, want to write to you, or is there any promotion or any promoter here in Puerto Rico who said, I want to bring maybe Broken Doll, maybe Broken Rosie, how can they reach you by the social media?
They can reach me through TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook Messenger. I'm on just a lot of different platforms. You can even get in touch with me. You watching matches, you like it, go up on my YouTube, send me a message through my YouTube on a comment or something. I check all that stuff. But the best way would probably be through Facebook Messenger or through my TikTok, which I do a lot of crazy videos and interview, like reviews and stuff like that too. But
Do you have
Facebook's probably the best.
do you have any message for all your fans around the world?
Yes, I do. Keep up the hard work no matter what it is that you do. If it's delivering pizzas or working in a warehouse, keep it up, keep your head up high. I know the world is crazy right now. Just keep the faith and keep moving on.
Okay.
And
Well, I mean,
chase them
yeah.
dreams and reach for the sky.
And the sky is the limit. I always say
Right.
that. Ok, mi gente, nuestras redes sociales, YouTube, denle like a sus videos favoritos, Twitter, Instagram, en Facebook tenemos la página y el grupo. Thank you very much for your time. I always make these interviews shorter because in a couple of months I'm gonna reach again for you. Maybe we can see you with a title here or so many titles that you haven't won so far. Maybe someday you will come to Puerto Rico. Maybe someday you will go to Japan, to Mexico. You never know, but I really appreciate your time.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. I really do. This has actually been quite fun. It's been a while since I've actually done an interview like this. I need to start doing a few more. So anybody else who wants to give me an interview, hit me up.
Thank you very much and have a nice day.
You too. It's been a pleasure.